Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nutrition Edge, where we dig into the science behind our nutrition. Ever wonder what teens are munching on during school hours, especially with all those food delivery apps at their fingertips? Well, a new study dives into just that, and it might surprise you today. We're going to explore a fascinating piece of research that looks at how teenagers are using mobile food delivery services, even during school hours. We'll find out what they're ordering, why they're doing it, and what schools are thinking about all of this. It is a pretty new area, especially with the rise of digital food environments. So let's see what the data tells us. So the big question researchers asked is, with all these food delivery apps, are teenagers ordering outside food while they're supposed to be in school? And if so, what does that mean for their diets? Especially when we already have policies trying to make school meals healthier. They wanted to understand how teens are using these apps and what they think about them being allowed at school to get answers. These scientists used a platform called AmeriSpeak Teen Omnibus. Think of it as a way to reach a bunch of teenagers across the US to ask them questions. They surveyed over 1,000 teenagers, aged 13 to 17, all across the country. They asked them about their habits. Are they ordering during school hours after school? How often, and what are they ordering? They also asked them directly, do you think schools should allow these food delivery apps during class time? They collected this information through an online survey. It's important to note this paper is a preprint, meaning the research hasn't gone through the final peer review process yet. So we need to keep that in mind as we look at the findings. They also did something really smart. They looked at not just the usage patterns, but also what teens said in their own words about whether these services should be allowed at school. They called this a thematic analysis, which is basically a way to sort through lots of open-ended answers to find the common ideas and opinions. Now, for the juicy part, what did they find? Get this, nearly 1 in 4 teenagers reported using mobile food delivery services during school hours. And almost half of them use these services after school. That is a significant chunk of teens getting their meals delivered while they're supposed to be learning. And what were they ordering? It seems fast food is king. A large number of teens ordered things like burgers, burritos, and pizza. Sugar-sweetened beverages were also popular orders. Healthier options like fruit, grain bowls, and non-fried vegetables were ordered much less often. Interestingly, they saw differences based on things like race and household income. For example, Black adolescents reported more frequent use of these services during school hours, and teens from lower-income households also use them more often during school hours, compared to those from higher-income households. They also found some regional differences. Schools in the Western US seem to allow mobile food delivery more often. However, teens in the West also seem to avoid using these services, more because they thought they were too expensive. That is an interesting twist, showing that even if schools allow it, cost can still be a barrier. When it came to asking teens if they thought these apps should be allowed at school, it was split. Nearly half supported the idea, while the other half were either unsure or against it. It wasn't a slam dunk either way. The open-ended responses gave us a lot of insight into why. Those who supported allowing food delivery often cited a lack of appealing or nutritious food at school, or simply wanting more options. They also pointed out that school lunch lines can be too long, making delivery a quicker, more convenient choice. Some saw it as a way to learn about managing their money. On the flip side, the strongest concerns about allowing food delivery were distraction from learning and potential safety issues with unknown people coming to school. There were also worries about fairness, with only those who could afford it being able to order. So what is the takeaway here? This study highlights that mobile food delivery during school hours is a really new way for students to get food. It suggests that school nutrition policies really need to think about not just the food inside the school walls, but also this evolving digital food environment that teens are living in. If students bypass school meals for fast food delivered to their door, the impacts of those healthy school meal policies could be lessened. The researchers also point out that simply banning these apps might not be the best long-term solution. Instead, they suggest schools could use this as an opportunity to teach teens how to make smart choices in this digital food world. It is a growing area, and understanding how these digital platforms affect teen diets is crucial. This is one of the first studies using a national sample to look at this specific issue, which is great because it gives us a broad picture. They found that about a quarter of teens grab food delivery during school, and it is often fast food and sugary drinks. This is important because we know that a diet heavy in fast food and sugar is linked to health problems like obesity. The study does have its limitations, though. The information on app usage and school policies comes from what the teenagers themselves reported, and that can sometimes be a bit different from reality. Future studies could try to get data directly from schools or even from the delivery companies themselves to get an even clearer picture. Also, remember, this is a preprint, so it is still waiting for that final expert review. What does this mean for you and me, or for parents and educators? It means we need to have conversations about the digital food environment. Schools are a place where teens spend a lot of their time, and what they have access to there physically or digitally can shape their eating habits. It's a complex issue because teens are growing up in a world where food is just a few clicks away. And learning to navigate that responsibly is a new skill. We all need to develop. Future research could look at innovative ways to partner with these delivery services to perhaps offer healthier options or discounts on good-for-you foods. From my perspective as a science communicator, this study is a really important first step in understanding a new challenge. It's a clear signal that our food environment isn't just about what is in the cafeteria or the vending machine anymore. It is also about pixels on a screen and delivery drivers arriving at the school gate. The real challenge will be finding solutions that educate and empower teens, rather than simply restricting them. Speaking of navigating the digital food landscape, it really resonates with the work of someone like Marion Nestle. She often talks about the influence of food policies and the broader food environment on our health. This study fits right into that narrative, showing how the digital space is now a major player in shaping what young people eat. It highlights the need for thoughtful policy and education to help teens make informed choices in a world where tempting, often less healthy, options are readily available even within school walls. We need to think about how to support healthier defaults and greater food literacy in this evolving ecosystem. That's all for this episode of The Nutrition Edge. What do you think about teens using food delivery apps at school? Let us know in the comments below, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more science-backed nutrition insights. We'll see you next time.